It's so easy to see that someone's insecure when they behave like that. Hey, Driven Mofos, welcome back to another episode of The Underestimated Entrepreneur. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Michael Mojo. I'm the founder of Mojo Human Performance Institute, where we focus on business, mindset, and lifestyle hacking for driven mofos. And the reason why I do these episodes is that most people will waste their life, and I just don't want you to be one of them. All right, let's talk about insecurities today, especially in the business world. I see it happen all the time, and most people don't pick up on it, but it is a huge insecurity that happens. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this as well, but if you have, shoot me a message on any of my social media. Go to Michael Mojo 00 on any platform and shoot me a message, because I would love to know how many of you out there experience this consistently, where somebody else feels like they're losing the game of life just because you're winning. Now, how did this all come about? Well, I was talking to someone only a couple of days ago, and they were sort of reacting to the way that I guess I was on social media. They were sort of reacting in a way where it was like they'd sent me a message and they wanted to catch up, and I knew that it was probably going to be a waste of my time. And when they messaged me, it was all about them. Like, I want to catch up with you because I want to go through this and I want to pick your brain about these things. And I'm going to be achieving all this stuff. Not I have achieved this. It's I will be achieving all this stuff. And, in the future, all this stuff, blah, blah. And so they went on with themselves about all of these future dreams and fantasies and ideas and shit that they had. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to achieve it. Like, shit, everyone has fantasies and fucking delusions, but that doesn't mean that they're going to come true. There's a massive gap between having a huge dream and actually achieving it. And I'm sure for the driven mofos out there who are achieving a lot and have achieved a lot in their life, there's still a massive gap between those dreams and, who you are as a person today. Like, you've got to change a lot of your beliefs. You've got to change a lot of the way you communicate with yourself and your own dialogue inside your head. You've got to have then the right people around you to support you to make sure that things start working. You have to be adaptable. You've got to change. The economic environment changes. You have to change and adapt and evolve. You've got to keep picking your team up, bringing the right people and onboarding the right people around you who can fill in your gaps. There's just so much to achievement that most people just don't even think about. They go, I want to have a 100-foot super yacht. And you go, okay, well, how are you going to do that? And they go, I'm going to make millions of dollars. And you go, okay, well, how are you going to do that? And they go, oh, it's easy. I'm going to start a business. And you go, okay, how are you going to do that? And they go, oh, it's easy. I'll just register an ABN and then I'll just get to work. And you go, there's a little gap there somewhere. Like, there's about 10 to 15, maybe even 20 years of hard work and getting your ass kicked and hiring all the wrong people and putting in the wrong systems and the wrong processes. And then you'll have customer problems and you have, there's all these things that happen in between getting that super yacht and you just starting a business or registering an ABN or whatever it is. So anyway, he goes on about all this stuff. And then I tried putting it off. I tried, sort of keeping a bit of a distance and I said, well, what specifically is it that you're after? And then he tells me about all these fantasies and stuff again. And I said, okay, well, you're more than happy to come to one of my events or something like that. And then eventually this goes on for weeks. As it started to happen, like this sort of came to a head only this week or a couple of days ago. And anyway, he turns around and he says, you're going to regret it because I'm going to be successful one day and you're going to look back at this and think, I could have spoken to this guy. And I went, why does he think that I'm going to have regrets because he has achieved something? Now, this is the way that most unintelligent people act in our society and most people who are insecure. Most people play the game of life as a zero-sum game. And what that means is if I win, you lose. And people play that money game all the time. Like, it is so fucking dumb. And if you're one of those people out there who play the game of life like this and you're wondering why you're not getting ahead financially or your business isn't growing or you're not getting enough sales, or you're not achieving the results you want in life. And I used to be like this, so I know exactly how it feels because I used to be like this. I got brought up in an environment that if someone was doing better than me, then they had to be an asshole or there had to be something wrong with them because they couldn't be better than me. And so I was always reactive. And I used to think that it was because I was highly competitive. And that may be the case. But there's a difference between being highly competitive because you're trying to get the best out of yourself and you're trying to get the best out of the people around you. And because of that, you're all going to win the game, or even you're going to win the game. Versus, I'm just going to bring other people down to my shitty level, my shitty existence because I don't know what I'm doing or I'm not going to step up or I don't have the skill set to be able to compete with them. And so this is how most people just play the game of life. That's why the majority of people are triggered when someone else achieves something and they get reactive or they try to bring them down because they play at a zero-sum game. If someone else has a better house than me, that means that I can't have a nice house. Or if someone has a better car than me, then that means I can't have a nice car, which isn't the case. Everyone can have it. It's just the question becomes, how did they get it? I wonder what they did. And you start asking questions. You start building relationships with those people and you go, hey, just wanted to know, like, how did you get here? What's the background? And how can I help you to achieve more so that then I can hang around you or I can get something back in return. If we see the game of life as an exchange of value instead of a zero-sum game, everyone can add value and everyone can add value to other people. And the more that you do that, the more successful you're going to become anyway. What I find is that people more in a lower socioeconomic or a low to middle class socioeconomic play that game where they feel like if someone else wins, they can't win. And it makes them insecure, it triggers them, and their only way of dealing with it is to bitch and moan and complain and whinge. Same as this guy, well, you'll regret it in the future. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I probably won't even think of you again for the rest of my life. Like, that's probably going to be the truth. Because I'm not going to lose sleep tonight over whether, you're doing well or not, because it doesn't bother me. I'm more concerned about whether I'm doing well and whether my community and the people who come to our events are doing well, because they're the people who pay me and create my lifestyle and also, allow me to do the things that I love to do in life, like build our business and build our companies. And so I keep reinvesting back into our community, because the better they do, the better I do, and the better I do, the better they do, because I can keep reinvesting in them. It's this expanding cycle, and most people don't play the game of life like that. Like I tell my community consistently, especially with our Business Growth Odyssey attendees, my goal is to make all of them super rich, because if all of them are rich, I'm always going to be rich, because why would anyone want to go anywhere else if I'm consistently helping them to live a wealthy and abundant life? Now, to all of them, it's not always about the money. It's about freeing up their lifestyle through operational freedom in their business. So if I can help them put better operations and better systems and better processes in their business, understand a better hiring strategy and all those things that are going to start to free up time for them, then not only are they going to be wealthy financially, because you're going to put the right people in the right places in the business that are going to add more value to the business, which hence the dollar value of the business increases, but also they're going to have a better lifestyle just in general. And also what you'll find is that if you put the right people in the right places, the business value goes up, which means that the money is going to increase as well. So not only are those people going to have a great lifestyle, they're going to have more money to do what they want. Now, as they make more money, they're living a better lifestyle, which means they make better decisions in their business for not only themselves, but also for their staff. So their staff are more happier, more fulfilled. Again, this is an expanding cycle. It's not a zero-sum game. Now, for those of you who don't understand what a zero-sum game is, it means that when someone wins, someone has to lose. This is really a financial market idea that they have. Let's say I'm a day trader or I'm a crypto trader. And let's say the price goes up. So I buy today and I buy off of someone else. So therefore, I win, but they've also won. But let's say tomorrow the price goes down, then I just lost. So this person won because they sold me something that was shit, and now the price has decreased, so therefore they win and I lose. So provided if the market's in a bull market where it's going up, everyone keeps winning and winning and winning and winning and winning, providing they keep buying and selling. But when the price goes up and then it drops, then people start to lose. And so that becomes that zero-sum game where someone wins and someone loses. Now, a lot of share trading and what happens in the share market as far as trading goes, and that means consistently buying and selling, and you're making money off of the margin. You're not adding any value to anybody. All essentially you're doing is buying a can of Coca-Cola at, let's say, 20 cents and then selling it for 40 cents. That's all you're doing, is you're just buying on margin. And so that can become a zero-sum game. My point is that in life, you can have a win-win-win-win-win situation. So for instance, if someone goes out there and let's say they create a healthcare product, and that healthcare product helps people with pain. And so they go to the marketplace and let's say they spend $1 million on research and development, and then they go into the marketplace and they make $20 million. Now, from that $20 million, they haven't just made $20 million because they're just making money. They've made $20 million because they've added value to people's lives. So not only do they make more money as the company owners and the company founders or the people that are involved in that, but also now they've actually improved people's lives. So the people who buy the product and service have an increase in value within their lives. So there's a win-win situation. Now, those business owners that have created that business of the product that helps with pain or eliminates pain, they now then go and hire a whole bunch of staff, put in, good strategies. They're now paying staff who now get paid wages. They now can look after their kids, send them to private school or whatever, buy a new car, eat out once or twice a week or whatever it is. And so because of that, they're helping other people to win in their business. Now, should that business keep investing in research and development and growing that business, you're hiring more staff, which means you're helping the economy. Also, you're paying more taxation as well. And most people don't realize this because they see dumb shit that the media promote, which is, Jeff Bezos paid $0 tax. That's probably because he made $5 as an income. What they don't understand is that when you're super rich or when you're doing well in business, you don't have to pay yourself an income. Why would you pay yourself an income and then pay income tax? When your business, essentially, if you're eating out every day in business meetings, you just put that through the business as a business expense. And if you've got a car, you put that through the business, so it's a business expense and it reduces your taxable income. They're not avoiding tax. They're just not paying themselves a wage because they don't have to, because their business pays for everything else. It's a smart way of doing taxation, and our government doesn't do a great job of utilizing our taxation money anyway. You know, when we all drive down the road and see a whole bunch of dudes standing around on fucking shovels for 3 or 4 weeks doing a job that could have taken 2 days, that normally pisses most people off, and most people are frustrated about that. And so it's not saying that they don't pay tax. Their company pays an extreme amount of tax, but also as well, every staff member they hire also has to pay income tax. So they pay an exorbitant amount of tax and put an exorbitant amount of cash back into the economy for the governments to utilize. Like if Amazon shut down tomorrow or moved overseas, the US economy would lose hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, most people don't think about that because they go, well, Jeff Bezos didn't pay any money, but it's just stupid. This is the stuff that we get taught about money, wealth creation, the way that people operate, and it's a dumb idea. So coming back to it, this idea of a zero-sum game is essentially a shitty idea that happens in financial markets where people try to screw each other. I believe, and this is my belief, that the reason why drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and also suicide and mental health issues are so high in the finance industry is because most people play a zero-sum game, which is that if I win, you lose. Now, if you do that for long enough, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about life? Whereas when you wake up in the morning and you go and add value to your staff, and you go and add value into the economy, and you're paying, a decent amount of tax, and you realize that every time you drive past the nice green lawns, part of the taxation money that you're paying is going towards keeping the grass mowed, the beaches clean, all of that stuff. And you start really appreciating what you do in life and how it adds value to everybody around you, including your friends, your family, all of that stuff. Then you start playing a completely different game of life. But coming back to the whole insecurity thing, this guy was really just pissed off because he didn't get what he wanted. Again, it's playing that zero-sum game. Well, I don't get what I want, therefore you'll be sorry. That's just so dumb. The faster that anyone who's listening to this realizes that no one gives a shit about you and what you do, they might think of you for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or if you piss them off, they might think about you for a couple of days. But most people don't think about you, they think about themselves. When you go to bed at nighttime, you won't be thinking about everybody who's ever done wrong by you, or everybody who's ever upset you, or everybody who's ever frustrated you. You might think of 1 or 2 things that have happened in your life that are really big or really extreme. You might have something go through your head about something that's been going on for the last week or 2 weeks that you're trying to problem solve and troubleshoot. But very rarely do people go to bed and think about you. But most humans think that most other people are thinking about them, which isn't true. I hope this helps River Mofos. I just wanted to share because it's something that happens so much in the business world. It doesn't need to. It's just a whole bunch of insecure people trying to make themselves feel better, and it doesn't need to happen. Like, just get on with the game, get out there, keep playing, do your thing. Anyway, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been joining our business group on Facebook, which is the No BS Business Hacks group. If you just go to the search bar and type in No BS Business Hacks, it'll come up. You can join that group. I just put a couple of processes in there as well for communication, because some of the things that I find is that communication break down really, really quickly in businesses. I found this happen in mine, so I created a little process around it with a little live training as well. And you can share it with your team and share it with your staff. And then that way it'll improve your communication. It'll probably save you tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars in wasted time, projects going wrong, all of that stuff. And it's just such a simple process. So I'm posting stuff in there consistently. Every day, apart from the weekends, I post something in there. Although this weekend, because I felt like it, I posted extra stuff in there. But there's tools in there, there's templates, there's trainings, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So please feel free to jump in that group, check it out. Also as well, you can book a call with either myself or one of our coaches as well, to be able to either do a clarity call where we can help you clarify some of the problems that are going on in your business or even in your personal life and help you to work through them. Or what we can do is we can do a strategy session as well. I just did a couple last week, which were really awesome because a business owner had multiple things going on in their business. They were overwhelmed. They hadn't really prioritized that well. They were just massively overwhelmed. And once I sat there and sort of asked some questions and we spent a little bit of time on the phone, it really helped them to clarify what they needed to implement, what they needed to do moving forward, and they're able to get out there and execute that stuff. You can definitely book in a call for that as well. Anyway, I hope that helps River Mofos. I look forward to seeing you in the group. And remember, never underestimate the dream.